Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. Well, the new DLC From the Ashes has been released for Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm a huge fan of this game. I've pretty much completed it, so I'm looking forward to getting started on this DLC and showing you guys what it's all about. So let's just hear what Sir Divish has to say.
Greetings. What business have you?
Can I be of service to you, Sir Divish? I've heard talk that something is going on in Pribyslavitz.
Henry, you've come at just the right moment. I sent a man to Pribyslavitz, my locator, Marius.
What's a locator?
A land allocator. I charged him with checking on the condition of the settlement to see if we can start rebuilding it.
You're planning to resettle the village?
Yes.
Why Pribyslavitz of all places?
Because it's been lying fallow and falling into ruin since it was sacked by Havelmedic years ago. It's about time that changed.
Well, it should be safe there now. We trounced that rabble on the battlefield.
Yes, and that's why I sent my master locator there. However, he should have been back long since.
If you've no objection, I could go and look for him.
I'd appreciate that. He probably just got delayed. But I'd be happier if you checked it out. Goodbye.
So guys, Sir Divish has basically said he wants you to go and find his locator at Pribyslavitz, which is where you're basically going to end up being the bailiff of. So we'll just have a quick look. This is Pribyslavitz, and you may remember this from earlier in the game. This is where you had that first huge battle where you fought the guy that stole your father's sword. So this is what it looks like right now, and your job here is to find the locator, but you will come across some pretty powerful bandits. Now I'm at the end of game. I'm pretty rusty because I haven't played this for a good few weeks when it comes to the combat, but I'm like end of game, and so I'm quite powerful, got some really good armor on and a good sword. My suggestion is when you meet these bandits, if you're playing this DLC and you're about halfway through the game, something like that, just make sure that you've got some good armor and a good sword and you're good at combat, because these bandits are pretty well kitted out that you're going to fight here. Even though I'm quite rusty, I do make quite short work of them, but you may struggle if you don't have some decent weapons and armor. So you'll see the bandit fight, and then we shall show you what the locator has to say.
Is someone there?
What's that? What's going on there?
Who have we here? Have you lost your way, laddie?
Is someone there?
I'll slay you for that.
Come here, lily liver.
Ow.
Now. You call that combat?
Ow.
Alarm! Raise the alarm! Watch out! Alarm! Insolent whelp.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Missed!
So there you go, guys. I made quite hard work of it, I guess. But like I say, I haven't played it for a good couple of months. So make sure you loot them, which I'm going to do, but I won't show you. Because trust me, you're going to need all the money you can in this DLC, because it's quite expensive to build this village up. So now you've got to find the locator, and there he is. He's right in there. So let's have a chat to this locator.
Hey. Psst. Help. Thank you.
My pleasure. Sir Divish sent me to find you, and it looks like I arrived just in time.
God's truth.
I'm Henry of Skalitz.
My name is Marius Bielek, Master Locator. Sir Divish sent me here to survey the area.
Well, the outlaws are out of the way, so we can go and report to him, right?
Not just yet. Those bastards caught me as soon as I arrived, and so far all I've seen is the inside of the tent they tied me up in. I still have a job to do. Come along with me if you like. We'll report to Sir Divish afterwards.
I'll escort you then. At least I can make sure you don't get caught again.
What? Are there more of those bandits around?
No, I just meant... Never mind. Should we get going?
What is it?
So basically you have a walk around the village with him. You can choose to skip it if you want, but I didn't. I had a walk around with him, and he basically tells you what he thinks is the good way, the best plan in regards to building the village up.
Every village must have one. Be nice and prominent. It's on the hillside, so the foundations will stay dry. It can have its own little square, close to the church. There's no better site here.
So it's a good way of getting the layout of the village if you wander about with him. He's a bit annoying because he keeps walking into you and blaming you, but other than that. But I won't show you the whole walk around because it takes a good 10 minutes or so. So I shall edit it down for you guys.
The church is still standing. Good. Good. Whoever built it did a good job. Considering how old it is and what it's been through recently, it stood up well. It won't be an easy job to fix it, but it can be done. Timber alone won't do, though.
So we've had the walk around with him, and then you have a chat with him, and that will then trigger the next part of the DLC.
So, Master Locator, ready to start building?
There's a long way to go before that. The few ruins that are left are basically beyond repair. It's all overgrown with brush.
Oh dear.
We'll have to get it all cleared before we can start rebuilding it.
So it is possible to rebuild everything?
Yes, absolutely.
But building a whole village is no small enterprise.
We'll need timber, lots of it, which isn't a problem in the middle of the woods, of course. We'll have to hire wage labor to begin with. Quite a lot of men. I think we should get started without delay. There's a lot of work involved, but it'll be well worth the effort. I can just imagine it. The church will dominate the whole settlement.
Oh, that's good news. When will you inform Sir Divish?
Why wait? I'll head to Talmberg right away. But would you keep an eye on things here in the meantime? It would be rather embarrassing to run into more bandits when I return with Sir Divish.
No problem. I'll be right here.
It shouldn't take us long. My lord, welcome to Pribyslavitz. That is to say, welcome back to Pribyslavitz after all these years. Well, what's left of it.
Not to worry, Marius. I'm glad to be back in my old hamlet. Although, it seems to have aged about as gracefully as I have over the years.
I beg to differ, sir. It's quite dilapidated, unlike your good self, but at least it's safe now. Thanks in part to Henry here, who also saved me from a predicament that cost me valuable time. Who knows? If it hadn't been for him, we might not even be talking now.
Well, lad, in the end, you managed things in your own way, I see. Just as you said you would.
I did my best, sir. I won't bother you with the details, sir. You have more important matters to attend to.
Let's get down to the matter in hand, shall we? What state is Pribyslavitz in?
Sir, in my official capacity as locator, I am gratified to inform you that the hamlet of Pribyslavitz may be renewed. And indeed it offers prospects of considerable expansion beyond its former limits.
Splendid. Finally, some good news for this province.
And badly needed, too.
So, what have you discovered so far? I want to know all the details.
We had a scout around.
We conducted a basic survey, from which we can make a preliminary outline of the parcels. I already have in my head an initial plan of what can be built where.
We should certainly have a church. I'd like to preserve the existing one.
That should present no serious obstacles. The building is in much better condition than we anticipated. But extensive reconstruction will be required.
That's to be expected.
There's a stream here, and a well, right in the middle of the village.
Yes, and there are abundant woods around. Clearing them will provide both extra land and timber supplies that we can use right away.
Right now, I believe we're standing on the village green, aren't we?
The future green, that is. The village centre will comprise at least 6 large buildings to begin with. We can't fit any more than that here, so there will be other buildings away from the square, in particular more extensive structures.
I'm glad to hear it. I never expected you'd find so much space here in the middle of the woods. The building work we're about to engage in is only the first part of my plan. Later, we'll clear more forest for agricultural land and build more farmhouses. But for now, we'll have to focus on more sensible goals.
As you wish, my lord.
Rebuilding a whole village must cost a king's ransom, though.
It's true it won't come cheap. Before the tradesmen settle here and start producing and trading, it will be necessary to invest a certain amount of capital.
A certain amount? How much exactly?
I wouldn't venture to state a precise amount at this point, but I expect it will come to some thousands, even tens of thousands of groschen.
That much? I hope you're good at haggling.
We shall, of course, attempt to procure everything at the best possible price, but raising a settlement from the ashes you see around you is a costly business. Nevertheless, I can assure you, my lord, that if all goes well, the investment shall all come back to you with interest.
I hope I shall live to enjoy it, Master Marius.
A village isn't a village without villagers. You'll need new subjects. Even preparing the ground for building will need lots of labour. Where can we find so many people, sir?
You sound skeptical, lad, but it's a good question. I've already given it some thought. I've agreed with Radzik and Hanish that we shall make an announcement in Rattay to invite people to move here and help with the construction, which will bring them many benefits, but also obligations. In addition, I expect the prospects of a new home will appeal to your former Skalitz neighbors, more than a makeshift camp by the castle walls.
They'll be delighted, sir.
A splendid solution, sir. I've also been concerned about how to bring settlers here, but now it seems there will be no shortage of new inhabitants after all.
It seems things are finally looking up. We routed the bandits in battle, and Henry took care of the remnants. When can we get to work?
Right away, as far as I'm concerned. All we need is people and the necessary funds. And we'll need someone to keep order, at least in the interim.
True. I'll leave you some of my men.
If I may, I would recommend quickly appointing a bailiff to take responsibility for the renewal of the village, its coffers and its citizens.
True. First things first. Since you understand these matters best, you shall take charge of the land parceling and building works. You'll be available to the bailiff, but answerable directly to me.
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you.
And, as regards the office of bailiff, what about you, Henry?
Yes, sir?
You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems, and you command the respect of your former Skalitz neighbors.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And you're also capable of maintaining law and order.
I must concur.
So, let us expedite matters. Henry, I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, in my domain.
My lord, it's a great honor. Thank you.
You will oversee the initial renewal and administration of the village that will set the ground for further development. But don't imagine it'll be a bed of roses, lad. Being bailiff doesn't mean you can do whatever you like. If you don't treat the settlers rightly, I'll soon find out and relieve you of your office. Besides, we can't spare a single groschen from the Talmberg coffers now, with the province in chaos. So, you'll have to cover the cost for the building work from your own purse.
Me? But Marius said it would cost a fortune.
True, but from what I hear, you know how to get your hands on coin enough. So, I expect you'll manage it just fine.
I'd like to know who's been spreading such gossip.
And I am assigning you certain specific tasks. You must ensure the rebuilding of the church. That means complete reconstruction, wall paintings, and a new altar. See to it that in the future, the village will be capable of supporting a certain number of people. For that, you will need to ensure the construction of essential artisans' buildings. And ultimately, the village must produce sufficient earnings to fund further expansion.
But, sir, I've never done...
I understand your concerns, but you'll be handsomely rewarded. I shall grant you the proceeds from the whole village for the first 5 years, and you have my permission to use the surrounding woods and land as you see fit.
Well, that's, I mean... Are you sure I'm the right man for the job, sir? It's a lot of responsibility.
As you said yourself, Henry, it's a great honor. Besides, you won't be alone in it. I'll assist you and supervise the construction work.
Phew. All right, then.
So, we're agreed. You'll give this document to the Rattay bailiff. He'll make the announcement to invite settlers, which should ensure enough people to begin work. At the same time, your official appointment as bailiff will be announced.
I don't know what to say, sir.
I'm sure you won't disappoint me, Henry. And now I must get back to my duties at Talmberg. Send word when everything is prepared.
Certainly, sir. Have a safe journey.
Farewell, sir.
So there you go, you've been handed the title of Bailiff of Privitslavitz by Sir Divish. So all you have to do now is head over to Rattay, or Rattay, speak to the bailiff there, and he will announce it to everybody, which is the next part of the DLC. So we shall see that take place, and then we shall head back to Privitslavitz.
Nothing of interest to me, thank Christ.
I have a document for you from Sir Divish. It concerns the renewal of Pribyslavitz.
The village you drove those bandits out of?
The very same.
So it's true then. Good. Good. Let me see that document then.
Here it is.
So what have we here? It says I should announce that anyone interested may move to Pribyslavitz to live and work. And Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush also give their consent. In that case, let's not waste any time. Come along with me.
Take care.
Welcome, Henry.
Fresh bread, come and get it. Man cannot live by bread alone, but he can't live without it either.
Such a lovely game, this. I mean, the realism is so wonderful. If you're not overly familiar with this game, it's a historically accurate role-playing game. And I think the only fictional character in this game, if I remember rightly, is the main character Henry, played by you. All the villages, all the towns and villages were all historically accurate. They all actually existed. So he's gonna bore everybody to death now. Here comes the rest of the village, look. Although they don't seem to be in much of a rush. But they're all coming to hear the announcement.
Hear ye. It is hereby announced, in the name of Sir Hanush and Sir Divish, that you, the citizens of Ratai, as well as those who have found temporary refuge here, are permitted to move to the hamlet of Pribyslavitz to the north of Talmberg Castle, wherein you shall be vouchsafed a new life and new dwellings, providing that you shall contribute to the renewal of the hamlet. All those who choose to accept this offer shall be exempted from payment of taxes for a period of 5 years. They shall be permitted also to make use of timber from the surrounding woods and water from the streams. The hamlet of Pribyslavitz lies in the domain of Sir Divish of Talmberg, and all who settle there shall be duty-bound to him. It is furthermore hereby announced that Henry of Skalitz is appointed to the administration of Pribyslavitz and the office of bailiff therein, which office and privilege have been conferred upon him by Sir Divish for loyalty and services rendered. I would therefore recommend that our Skalitz friends consider this offer very seriously, as nothing better is likely to come your way anytime soon.
So there you go, it's all official. The refugees from Skalitz, which is the first village you were in at the beginning of the game that got attacked, they're all going to head to Pribyslavitz now to their new home. As we are very shortly, we're going to head back, and the next time you go back to Pribyslavitz you get a nice little cutscene which I shall show you very shortly. So there you go, it's been cleared away by the new villagers that have turned up. It's looking different now, it's looking more like a site that can be built on. And what you basically need to do now, guys, with this DLC is go and talk to Marius, you know, the locator. He explains a few things to you. But I'll tell you guys right off the bat, you're going to need quite a bit of cash for this. I'm at end of game and I've got about 10,000 groschen on me, which is a good starting point for this DLC, but it only allows me to build a couple of things. It's actually much more expensive than I anticipated to build the rest of the things. I think the church itself is in 2 stages, and that'll cost about, I don't know, 30,000 groschen to rebuild the 2 stages of the church. So there's going to be a bit of grinding going on to get money to do this, but it's going to be worth it, and it'll stretch out the DLC, won't it? Make it more enjoyable in the long term. So let's have a chat to Marius.
Welcome back. What news from Rattay?
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslavitz.
Then allow me to congratulate you. What will be your first step?
First, actually, I'm not quite sure. What would you recommend?
As it happens, I already sought a few things in your absence. You might have noticed that the first people have come from Rattay.
Yeah, I saw some heading here right away.
So when they arrived, I was able to start clearing building plots with them. After they'd erected some temporary dwellings, that is.
How do I choose what to build where?
I've already given it some thought on your behalf. I even wrote it all down in the accounts ledger. Everything will be recorded there. I'll make a note of every change as we proceed.
Thanks. That'll be a big help. And where can I find this book?
It will always be kept at the Rat House.
Well, there's nothing here, so we'll have to build everything. Ale house, bakery, butchers, rat house. Did I mention ale house?
Eventually. But be warned. To begin with, it's always best to start with facilities that will be producing construction materials for everything else. And since we'll mainly be using timber, it makes sense to set up a woodcutter's camp.
All right. And then what?
That depends. Every building has its use. But you'll soon get the grasp of it, and it's all in the ledger.
What about the workers' wages and buying materials for artisans?
The money must be put in the trunk here. The expenditures for wages and materials will be taken from it. So you should keep it topped up to prevent delays. Which reminds me, there's the matter of my own pay to be resolved.
Yes, of course.
Sir Divish guaranteed me a fixed income. What's more, this job is an exceptionally big one.
I see. But how much are you thinking?
I have a record of payment here somewhere. Here it is. Let's say 1/4 more than that.
I can't afford that much. At least not now, right at the start. But I do need your help. How about this much?
That's a fair offer. It seems we understand each other. I agree.
Good. I'll put your wages in the trunk too. Are you sure it's quite safe?
Quite. Only you and I shall have a key and access to the trunk. Besides, we'll have guards on watch here.
That's reassuring.
That's about all to begin with. If you need any more details, I'll be happy to explain things to you.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
We'll need woodcutters to ensure timber supplies for building.
It's impossible. Check what you need in the ledger.
I'd rather not build anything just now.
So I found this bit a little bit confusing initially. I thought you could just pick some and go and start building it, but essentially you can't do that. And the only way as well I could offer him a smaller wage was because I'm like end of game stats, so I could get away with offering him a smaller wage and he would accept it. You may not if you're only like halfway through the game or something. So what you actually need to do is go to the ledger, have a look through, make sure you've got enough money, and by that you need to make sure you've put the money in the trunk. And you see the prerequisites on the top right hand side of the book. That tells you if you've got everything you need to be able to build that. And you'll know as well that you can build it because the build icon will be lit up on the right hand side there. So what I basically choose to build first is the woodcutters camp, because that's what it suggested basically. And if you're going to be building things, you're going to be needing a lot of wood. So I'm just scanning through the book, seeing what, basically for the first time, seeing what you're able to build. And you're going to be wanting trade to be coming through this village fairly quickly, so that you're not just relying on your own money to build this. So I've chosen the woodcutters camp.
Let's get building.
So you follow Marius down to the site where the woodcutters camp is going to be built. So yeah, you need to be building the sensible things first. That's going to allow you to bring trade in as quick as you can. So like I say, you're not just reliant on your own money. If trade is coming through the village, then that will go into the coffers. So my aim is to get the woodcutters camp up and running. And then I wanted to build the traders hut, but I couldn't because you need the road building up. So I chose to build the road next, and that would then allow me to build the traders hut, but I need more money to do that now. So yeah, you just confirm that you want to build it with him.
We're going to build here?
He checks you've got all the ability to do it.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. All good. We can start construction.
And then you get a nice little cutscene. There you go, that's the woodcutters camp, an essential part of the village. There we are. So head back up and decide what you want to build next, if you have the right prerequisites and enough coin. That's the key thing here. Coin. Groschen, should I say. It's kind of a catch-22 at the end of the game for this, because you've done the majority of the missions and side missions. So it's actually harder to get money at that point in the game. If you're playing this DLC, I don't know, and you're about halfway through the game, for example, you're going to naturally, gain money as you play the game. So here we are, we're back at the ledger. And it's me just checking this top one, see if there's any goodies in it, but there isn't. It's just for storage. Remember guys, the trunk there on the right hand side, just there, make sure you put your coin in there, because you can't build anything if you don't put your coin in there, your groschen, and it's also wages for your workers. So your overview gives you all your information. Right now you can see it's not making any money. Just checking what it's recommending I build. Trader's house. But to be able to build the trader's house, and you will see shortly, you are going to need the prerequisite of the bridge and road being built up, so that the trade can come in and out of the village and they're not travelling over a rickety old bridge. I mean, the basic repairs for the church is 1100 groschen. I mean, yeah, 11,000 groschen, I believe. Forge 8,000, bakery at 4,200. Butchers, stables, guardhouse, traders, tavern, bridge and road. So I can build that, and that's what you need to be able to build the trader's hut or trader's house. I very nearly did the beehives thing, and I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't have had enough for the bridge and road, I don't think. Traders, there you go. You can see on the prerequisites, bridge and road. So that makes my mind up for me. I know what I need to build next. The bridge and road.
Marius, there's work to be done.
So I've just built two things there, or I'm about to build the second thing, and it's cost me 6,500 groschen.
Come along with me and we'll take a look at the site.
But you can see there as we're approaching the bridge, I mean, it's a rickety old wooden thing. It's going to be no good for traders and carts and horses coming across there constantly. It's just not going to last.
We're going to build here?
Yes. Shall we get started?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need.
We do.
All good. We can start construction.
You get a nice new little cutscene again. There we go, doesn't that look nice? Much better. There we are. So guys, that's it. That's what I've built so far on the From the Ashes DLC. It's going to take me a bit of time to get the coin or the groschen built up to be able to do some other things. Like I say, I'm aiming to do the trader's hut next, or the trader's house, to start bringing some trade in. I suggest you do the same. I hope you found this useful and enjoyable, and I do recommend this DLC. It's only $7.99 in the UK. It's not too bad at all. So I do hope you enjoy it if you do buy it, and thank you very much for watching.